The Humble Indie Bundle is a really big pack of games you can buy at whatever price you want. You can then allow the money to be distributed to the charity, game companies, or the people hosting the Indie Bundle. There are 8 games in all you can buy. If you pay the average amount that everybody is paying, you can only get Amnesia, Limbo, Psychonauts, and Swords and Sorcery, including their soundtracks. If you pay over average, you will get those games plus Bastion, Braid, Lone Survivor, and Super Meat Boy. Bastion also has a soundtrack that you can only get if you pay over average. But the other 3 games do not have soundtracks you can get here. While the deals sound great, it will only be just as good as the games that are being bought. I bought these games for $25 because I have a good amount of money from my high school graduation. Some people may be reluctant though because they may not want to pay for anything at all, any of these games. To see if I can make or break some of you, I am going to give my first impressions of all but 2 of these games. The 2 games I will not be giving a first impression of are going to be Psychonauts and Amnesia. Both of these games have been given praise already by many, and you don't even need to pay over average to get them both. I know nothing of Psychonauts, but I am interested in the game. The reason I'm not giving an impression yet is because I know I will want to play this game a lot. And I tried getting all the impressions I had of these games done in one day. Heck, right now as I'm recording this, I still have to do Bastion, which I'm just doing other shit right now before I start playing it. In short though, I just really want to take my time and enjoy Psychonauts slowly. If anything possible, I may give a review in the future of Psychonauts, just because, but this is a may or may not situation, probably not, because more or less, I don't like having to spend a lot of time with game footage. I'm not giving an impression of Amnesia for the same reason. However, I have seen an LP of the game, and I will say that the game excels at being a good horror game because you can't fight back. If you enjoy horror games, you can beat the crap out of monsters, this isn't your game. If you enjoy being scared and on the edge of your seat trying to hide from them, then you will enjoy Amnesia. I will give impressions of games I enjoyed the least to what I enjoy the most, in order. So without further ado, here are the games. Lone Survivor. Lone Survival will be my hardest to talk about because I didn't want to play it. It's funny because it's one of the games I wanted to play. At first, I was definitely interested with the light opening into the game, but after the game jumped into showing what the monster was right away, I was starting to drift a bit. I was scared, on my toes, I'm not gonna lie about that. But once the game threw me back into a safe spot, I felt it was jumping too much. During the safe place, I didn't know what to do, and when the controls for the game were shown, I was not interested. Why? I knew the controls were going to work against me, and to make me remember that much for a horror game that I'm sure is a one-hit kill if the monster hits me thing, was not going to be my thing. I could be wrong about it, but remember, this is a first impression for all of these, so I could be wrong about certain things, but at the same time, first impression. The game has to give up a first impression. If it doesn't, that's the game's fault. So, anyway, that's Lone Survivor for you. Swords and Sorcery. This game takes point-and-click adventures to a whole new level, as that is how you control everything. First, a look at the game, which I thought would turn me off, is actually really interesting. Many games try to shoot for doing beautiful versions of 16 or 8-bit styles, but this one makes me feel like it went for an Atari version of looks. I could be wrong, but it's what I was thinking when I was playing. The music is great and the game slowly moves you into the controls. The actual gameplay where you fight monsters is interesting. You have to click in the neck of time to either guard or attack monsters. Sounds bad at first, but when you're playing, it really grows on you. I would have enjoyed this game more, but I felt I was in a hurry to not like the game. Mostly because I didn't take the adventure aspect of a lot of the game like I was, and I was just trying to hurry up so I can get a lot of the games I was playing done, both recording and playing for the first time. And to be quite honest, even though this is going to be the lower one on my list, I will say that I do want to go back and play this game again, just because I didn't give it a chance, and I do think it could be a better game than I'm saying it is right now. Super Meat Boy. I'm actually going to tie this one with the game I'm going to be doing next in terms of how much I like them. They're both really good platformers and I couldn't decide. Super Meat Boy is just flat out fun. Your objective is to find Meat Boy's lover in the level to complete it. To do so, you have to run and jump around to get her. When you do, the bad guy does something funny and runs away with her. The controls for it are very easy, and I like how you leave a pile of meat where you leave off. The names are pretty stupid for characters too, but it's not supposed to be taken seriously. I don't have much to say because the concept is simple and funny, and the game is very hyper and crazy. This is a game I really do recommend for you if you want a crazy platformer that's just over the top and fucking fun to enjoy. Braid. Super Meat Boy was over the top in terms of how it presented itself, but for lack of a better term, Braid is more sophisticated. Not in terms of how the game plays, just the music, graphics, and gameplay feel like you're supposed to take your time and drink a glass of wine while you play. You go around collecting puzzle pieces, and you also have the ability to go back in time if you fuck up. But unlike Prince of Persia, you can do it as much as you want. You can't really die in the game from what I've seen so far, because the game makes you go back in time if you do. However, it was really enjoyable too. I want to go back and play this game some more to try to understand the controls better and see how far I can get. Some of them seem I couldn't reach at first, but after going back and doing the going back in time thing, it really was helpful. And for someone who's not good at platformers, being able to make up for your fuck ups is really fun, and to do it as much as you want, unlike Prince of Persia, is a lot better. If you're a beginner at platformers, while I do think you probably shouldn't play Braid first, at the same time it really will help you getting into actually being good at platforming. Bastion. Unlike some of the other ones on this list, I usually scripted them so I could think about them beforehand, but just because I just got done playing this game because I had to reinstall it, wouldn't install my computer right, so I just put it on Steam instead because you can't get the Steam keys. I am just going to give a little opinion about it instead of having a scripted one like my other ones were, which my scripted things weren't really that well in the first place, so I do apologize for that. I will probably put this after. I will probably put this before. This will be my second to favorite out of all of them, just because even though it wasn't as great as I thought it was going to be, it was still enjoyable. I talked about I will talk about the music at the end, saying whether or not whether or not Bastion could have been a good or bad soundtrack. It was average for me. I can see why some people might enjoy it a lot, and I thought that just because of the simple fact that they really tried to. For me, it felt like people were trying to push forward the soundtrack for Bastion, but I don't think it was. I don't think it was bad, but I'm not going to say it's like the greatest thing in the world either. It was okay. It was good. I will call it above average. The game itself was fun. It seems like it's a lot bigger of a game to play. The controls are hard to work with at times. It seems like something that is a lot better to try using with a controller, which some of these games are like that. And I do probably recommend that people use a controller for some of these games over other ones. And some of them won't allow controllers, and etc, etc, etc. This one is one that's definitely probably going to need a controller for me. Though the pointing your mouse wherever you want to does feel very comfortable. At the same time, being able to move your character was a pain, though it's probably possible for me to try doing both, but who knows, that's probably impossible. I don't think anyone's ever tried playing. No, that's a lie. I'm pretty sure people have tried using both a controller and a mouse at the same time. Either way, that's not the point that I'm trying to talk about. The point is, the game Bastion was good. There's always a director talking, and not a director, there's always a narrator in the background. I kind of knew about this just for the simple fact that a lot of people were complaining about some people doing Let's Plays of the game, from what I remember, when trying to look up a bit about this game. I didn't really look up much, but I looked at the comments. I wish people would stop talking over the narrator. I wish people would understand what a fucking Let's Play is. Come on, people. Either way, I understand why people like the narrator, though. The narrator has a nice, deep voice. One thing that bugs me, though, is that the character they try to look like in the drawn-out stuff make him look like a very young kid. Even though it's kind of portrayed that way, he seems like a very muscular person, even though in the actual pictures he looks like just a scrawny boy. Either way, the game has decent controls. It's kind of interesting. When you walk towards something, the platforms pop up for you, which is kind of interesting, I will have to say. Another cool thing is that there's a difference between you using a melee weapon and a well, that's not true. You can choose which weapon you want for your left and right buttons on your mouse, or at least that's how I had it. And you have to choose a specific special power you want to do. That could be a good or a bad depending on how you guys play it all. I thought it was pretty good to have that kind of a thing in there where you get to pick whether or not you want it. Like I said, I could be wrong about some of these things. These are only first impressions, but it was good. Overall, I thought it was enjoyable, though I have to say the controls kind of worked against me at times. But from what I saw unlike Lost Survivor, I thought it was still, I could work with it. I felt like I could work with it at times, though I'm probably going to look towards trying to see if I can get a controller to work for it, because from what I remember, this was originally for the Xbox Live Arcade, or it could have been for both. Either way, I do think this is an enjoyable game, and probably another one you should try getting. Limbo. This game is just wow. Limbo is a horror puzzle and platformer all put into a great game. The look of the game gives great atmosphere to the horror part. The tone is also very lighthearted and goes with you taking your time. The game can be gruesome when you screw up though, and it did make me jump when I was playing. At first, the platformer puzzle part is easy and simple, but as the game gets deeper, things become harder. As you can see, I was looking at what was just in front of me at this part, but after getting mad at it, I decided to go the other way and found out what I needed to do. The last part especially made me wet myself. I knew what I was supposed to do. The problem is that I was fighting a giant spider. I hate spiders. I have arachnophobia. Even so, I took my time and I conquered my fear. In the game, at least. To be quite honest, Limbo was an amazement to me. Everything put together. It was the first game I played when trying to go back and, or at least playing the game as, even though when I got these at first, I didn't play them, I just downloaded to have them ready. Besides Psychonauts, because it's 4 gigabytes. What the fuck? Anyway, even so, after finally deciding to play, I went with Limbo first because I knew I would enjoy the game, and I wasn't wrong. That's why it's at the top of my list, and well, it is so fucking enjoyable. I really can't wait to go back and play the game even more, and hopefully it's a lot longer than I think it probably is, but who knows. So I will catch you guys next time. If you guys enjoy, this is Mike Jr. II, signing out.